My name is Nikki Komaksiutiksak. My home community is Chesterfield in Nunavut. Jessica Michaels is my first cousin, but we called each other sisters. And in 2001, she was murdered here in Winnipeg, Manitoba. So when me and my sister Jessica, when we were 13 years old, as we all know, the legacy of the residential school system is not a very nice story. And there's a lot of horrible things that happened to a lot of Indigenous people across Canada. And as a result, my mother and my aunts and my uncles and many other people across Canada, when they started having children, it was very hard for them to parent because they weren't taught how to parent appropriately. And as a result of that, I was sent to Winnipeg when I was 6 because my mother couldn't take care of me. Out of the 4 of us girls, Jessica had the most beautiful voice. She could light up a room just by one verse of a song. Her voice was that beautiful. And we traveled the world throat singing and showcasing our identity and our culture back in the early 90s. But behind closed doors, me and my sisters suffered the most extreme abuse that anyone could ever endure. Torturous abuse. Some stories are being beaten with an extension cord, wire hangers, being stabbed and sewn, and no one knew where we were and what was happening to us. So it was really easy for us to get involved with very scary people. But it was hard for Jessica because she was the worst, beaten and abused. So growing up in the child family system here in Winnipeg, she got involved with the wrong crowd. She got involved with a man that promised her love, money, cars. She had a lot of friends that were being murdered, and she was afraid that she was next. They found her in a rooming house on William Avenue. The toxicologist reported saying that there was so much crack cocaine in her system that a grown man's heart could have busted. She was found with an extension cord wrapped around her neck, kneeling down, holding an X-Acto knife in one hand. No one was held responsible for her death. No one wanted to take responsibility for her death. The government of Nunavut, the government of Canada, the province of Manitoba, the child welfare system. Justice for me, when we think about Nunavut, for example, there are so much crises happening in Nunavut as a result of lack of resources. We look at the food prices first and foremost and how that affects families and children. We look at the housing crisis, and it's a housing crisis. You have addictions, you have trauma, you have abuse, and then you have the highest rate of suicides in all over the world in Nunavut. So yes, it is the responsibility of the Crown, of the government, to ensure that there are proper programming and resources available. I need my community to feel rich when it comes to who they are and where they come from. And that is my goal for the rest of my life.